Judy.
Hi, it's me. I'm sorry, I lost you before.
There you go. No problem. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
There we go. Awesome. Very cool. So I'm taping this. I'll run it. I think I might run it Thursday. But so it'll run on tape before the show.
Great.
I really appreciate you taking a few minutes.
I'm glad you could call me. Thanks a lot.
You're quite welcome, and you're coming back through the area, and I was privileged. There's this loyal listener, Steve, and he always compiles lists of when folks have been through the area and little tidbits about them that may or may not be interesting to listeners. And he notes that it was, believe it or not, 50 years ago, it was July 1964, that you made your Hawaii debut. You performed at an event, the first annual Pacific Folk Festival Waikiki show with the Brothers Four, Josh White, Bob Gibson, the Hillman.
Oh, my God.
You remember any of that?
Well, I might.
I know, it was a ways back, huh?
It was a long time ago, but I do remember being there. Who else was on it?
It was Josh White, Bob Gibson, the Hillmen, Brothers Four. And tickets were quite reasonable, Judy. $4, $3, and $2. It was real.
Yeah, that would be
different.
That would be it. It was what month of the year?
That was July.
In July, so that would have been my first trip. And then I was back with no, I didn't sing when I came back. I visited Hawaii in '66, but I didn't perform. So what was the next performance?
The next performance, according to Steve's handy list of details, was August 31st, 1975. So a gap of 11 years. And you returned, and ironically at the same venue. That was the time Sending the Clowns was the big hit. Tickets had gone up a little bit. We can keep track of inflation sort of with our own little math here. And by that point, it was $6.50 and $4 for tickets. And even more fun. Any memories of that one or no? Probably still fuzzy, but I have a little personal anecdote that he's included, which may be able to jog a little some of the synapses. He says after the concert, and how he knows this, we'll leave it to Steve only to provide. Jack Holzman, founder of Elektra, was the one that discovered you, signed you to his record label. He came backstage, I don't know how he knows this, to pick you up and then fly you to Maui on his private plane for a vacation.
He did, and I visited him in Maui. He had a home there for a long time.
And any memories of that? Does that jog any?
Well, of course, I do remember that because it was lovely to see Jack in his, in his home on Maui. He lived there quite a while. He may still have a presence there. We see each other all the time. He's a very good guy, you can imagine. He's been my friend for decades and my record president, and also just a close friend.
That's cool. Well, you guys have that little Hawaii thing. And any other connections now that we've exhausted Steve's comprehensive and fascinating little history of things you've done in the state?
Well, I must have been there. I know I was there. Oh, I was at the Ritz-Carlton on the Big Island.
Okay. Private show, maybe.
In 1970, either 79 or 70, I think 78, maybe the fall, or 79 in the spring. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was in 90, I must have been there between 76, 75, and this other trip. I was singing on the Big Island, I think it was 92, after my son died. I had a date over there, and I took my niece with me. I think maybe it was 79, something like that. So I haven't been to Hawaii a lot, obviously. Not enough, obviously.
No, people are going to really appreciate you taking the time to come back.
I love to come.
And it'll be nice. And you have a lot of power, and I was looking you up. I noticed that on Google you are the third highest Judy whose information is sought after. So quite a achievement there for you. Are there things about your earliest years? I was looking at some of the places you've been in and connections that you have. You were just noting the one relating to Maui and Jack from Elektra. Anything about those early years in Seattle? You were really, really young, but did they have anything that you look at as a crucial part of the ingredient list of your life?
Well, my dad started his radio career in Seattle in 1937, and he had a radio show for 30 years rather. He had So we were in Seattle, 37, my parents were born, 39 married, and 39 I was born. So 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. We moved to Los Angeles in 44. I was about 5 years old. And then his radio career continued in Seattle, in Hollywood, and then in Denver, where we moved in 1948. But he was a great inspiration to me always, because he was a great performer, wonderful singer, sang all the songs of Rodgers and Hart, was a wonderful entertainer. He did shows, he did the radio show, and he did concerts, and he sang and interviewed all kinds of people. I met Bob Hope and Red Skelton and who else? George Shearing and all kinds of people in Hollywood when he was there. And he was just a great influence on me. So those things were, I sort of grew up as a performing brat, because I did all kinds of things. I played the piano, I sang. I played with an orchestra when I was 13 and found folk music when I was 15. But I was really always kind of working on a show, going on my dad's radio show. So it's sort of in the blood. It's almost like a family business,
It's really great how, going back to your earliest years, really your father's connection to radio has been a really critical catalyst, I guess, in the rest of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Very true.
And the guy is really happening, how he sort of linked you. And you mentioned it about your musical background and a variety of instruments. First it was piano, some people may or may not know. Then it was guitar, eventually busking in the streets.
No, I never busked. I was always paid.
Oh, you were?
I was never a busker. Never, no.
Oh, your Wikipedia says you busked in New York. It made me wonder if you ever
No, I never did, and I don't know who the hell put that on there. I can't imagine.
I would rush as soon as this is done and get that thing edited.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that.
But first, piano. When you think about that, you mentioned it. The piano was an early thing, a musical. You've kind of had this performing thing around you your whole life. Fathering radio really is a performance thing, and a variety of instruments. The piano still something that you care?
Yes, everything. I've never stopped playing, and I write all my songs on the piano. I practiced just today.
Nice.
I always practice, because you have to. You have to keep that skill up, because you got to be on the road and you got to do things. You got to write songs. You got to record, and so it's been always my instrument. I don't really play. I'm not a great guitarist by any means.
But the piano is your vehicle to write the tunes.
I really keep the piano up all the time.
But the piano is your vehicle to write the songs. That's pretty cool.
Sorry.
The piano is your vehicle to write the songs. That's pretty cool.
Oh yes, I have to. I think I've written one song on the guitar, which I don't particularly like.
Well, we won't talk about things you don't particularly like.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to keep you in the happy place. Like, I would think, here's a great example on the opposite side, something that I would think you liked, but who knows, maybe you have a different take. Having a song named after you, like Sweet Judy Blue Eyes from Stephen Stills, and doing that with the CSN gang, that would really be a happy thing.
Oh, that was definitely a happy thing. That was one of the best things that ever happened, of course, and we're still friends, which is very nice.
Man, what a long friendship that is, huh?
Yeah, it's a long friendship, and we really do. We get together, we talk, we text, we see each other. I go to his shows. I recorded a song with him a couple of years ago. We had a great time. We like each other. We like each other a lot. It's just that we couldn't get along as a couple, if you know what I mean.
Hey, I can dig it, and Steven certainly has been around the block himself. When you think about having those long friendships and the relationship you develop, I just wonder, different kind of friendship and relationship I'm thinking, but anything come out of the Sesame Street or Muppets era where you got a little long-term thing with, I don't know, Big Bird or any of those guys?
Well, I did sing an aria with Snuffleupagus. That was a high spot, and I was very friendly with Jim Henson. Nothing romantic, but we were very good friends, and we liked each other a lot, and would see each other a lot in New York City.
Snuffleupagus. That's a name that does not get said enough on the program. I really owe it to you for giving Snuffy a place. That's pretty cool.
Yes, exactly.
And any memories of cozying up with Snuffleupagus for the song?
No, no, not really. No, not really.
And from Snuffleupagus and Sesame Street to another group of folks who seem to have a very personal connection with you, the Clintons. And I'm not thinking about George and the P-Funk.
Sorry.
No problem. Is another group with a connection, a personal connection to you, is the Clintons. I'm not thinking about George and P-Funk, but more Hillary and Bill, claiming you as a really crucial influence.
Well, it was nice to find out that I met them in 1991 when he was still the governor of Arkansas, and I didn't know him. You know, he was a stranger to me, but I wasn't a stranger to him because he had been to my the first concert he went to was in 1964 in Georgetown in Washington. So he was already a fan. And he came to see me. He said, "Oh, God, you're just still as good as you were," which was very nice of him. And then I found out that he was asked if the White House, if he had a fire, I think, in his house or something, what would he save? And he said, "Well, I'd save Pose of the Day." It's the Judy Collins album, that collection of things. And so I knew that he was not kidding because then he recited all the songs that are on that album. So I knew that he was quite serious about it all. And then when they were in the White House, I had a lot of visits there and dinners and state dinners and things like that. So yeah, it's a very nice relationship. I'm crazy about him. You know, he's a wonderful guy.
Wow, you get it. So is he a bud? Do you guys hang, cruise around?
Not now. I mean, we spent a lot of time with him when they were in the White House, and we see them from time to time. But you know, life is busy. You don't.
Oh, I know. Busy, you guys. You and the Clintons, I'm sure it doesn't. There's not much of a dull moment in anybody's life.
Never a dull moment. I'm very
circles.
happy when I do get to see them, but it's not often anymore.
No sitting in on the sax, I'm assuming.
No, I should have him play, but I think it's a little crude.
You never know. It could be the spice. Could just be the right.
Maybe.
I mean, you get Snuffy in there and the Prez.
Yeah, Snuffy and the Prez. That's not a bad idea.
And Stephen Stills. We get like a little all-star cabal together. Judy Collins.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Just make sure you credit All Things Considered here.
I certainly will.
Member-supported Hawaii Public Radio. When you're you going to be in Honolulu at all? What's the schedule with you? You got any time when you're going to be in town?
I don't have any time. I have 4 shows in 4 islands, and then I get on the plane to come home because I've got work piled up in, you know.
I understand.
So I can't stick around.
Well,
that's life on the road. You know, I do 110 or 20 shows a year, so I'm always on the move, and it's just the way life is right now. I mean, I'm sure it won't always be that. It hasn't always been that. I usually, you know, through most of my career, I would work like 50 shows a year, which is kind of an average. But it's doubled and more. And I'm very grateful that I have the work, I'll tell you that.
Hey, who wouldn't be? I love hearing that. God bless you.
Yeah.
Judy Collins on her way to Hawaii, and we're very grateful. I hope you had a fun experience that you will add to your list of Hawaii memories being on the program.
I certainly will. Thank you so much. Aloha. It's Judy Collins. And when I'm not hanging out with Snuffleupagus, or Bill Clinton or Stephen Stills, I'm hanging out with my good buddy Dave Lawrence on member-supported Hawaii Public Radio. Hooray.
Awesome. Judy, be safe. And
oh, you're great. Thank you a lot for doing this.
You're welcome. Glad you had fun. You be safe.
I had a great time. Aloha, and take care of yourself.
You too. God bless.
Bye.
Aloha.